Ever since it was first introduced in 2001, Ford's Escape has been an increasingly important model in the overall Ford offerings. It was the first of the small SUVs at a time when that category was just beginning to grow. In that time since then, the Ford Escape has actually become the best-selling nameplate for Ford in North America, of course, outside of its F-Series. It's now in its fourth generation, and beside me here is the 2020 Ford Escape. We've seen different innovations in the Escape over the years. In fact, the second generation back in 2005 saw North America's first hybrid model launch, or the first hybrid launch by an American manufacturer. We lost that hybrid, but in the 2020 version it is back again, as well as some new engine options, overall design features, and it continues to be a very popular vehicle. In fact, there's been about 4.5 million Escapes sold in North America since its inception. I've really been looking forward to getting into this 2020 Ford Escape to see what it's all about, and the 2020 Ford Escape in the SEL trim is the feature of my latest review. You know, when I first saw the reveal of the 2020 Escape, it really struck me as one of the biggest departures in design, exterior-wise anyway, that Ford has done with this small SUV brand. It's a lot sleeker and sportier than it's ever been. I've never loved the exterior design of the Escape. I know it sells boatloads, but it never really had a design that you could say that was inspiring. It was quite pedestrian, I'd have to say. But this new one really looks great. It's dimensionally wise, it's lower, it's wider and longer than the previous generation. And on the front end, they've really done a good job. In fact, they say they've taken some of their inspiration from other notable Ford designs. This front trapezoidal grille, which is a much nicer new look than the previous Escape. They say it gets its inspiration from the 6th generation Mustang. They also say front-end styling cues come from the GT. I'm not sure I see that, but it still looks nice. And you know what? I really like these headlights. I know not everyone is going to like them as designed, but I think they're a lot sleeker, sportier than what we had before. I mean, to me, it kind of reminds me a bit of a Macan, which is quite the compliment. But overall, it's a more streamlined design. The sloped roofline on the back here actually creates a more aerodynamic look than before. In fact, they say it's the most aerodynamic Escape they've ever built. It's also lighter than before, with the use of a lot of high-strength, lightweight steel. It's dropped 200 pounds, so the combination of more aerodynamics and lighter weight should add more fuel efficiency as well. 18-inch wheels on this SEL trim, but overall, I really like the look exterior-wise in the new Escape. So overall, the interior of the new 2020 Escape has certainly had updates as well. There's more overall interior volume. That's again thanks to the added dimensions, the wider and the longer exterior dimensions of the frame. And inside as well, there are some features. The floating 8-inch screen has sort of moved from when it's embedded. It's at a higher eye line, so it's designed to be better and safer to look at. They've also gotten rid of the shift gear selector, and it's now just a rotary gear selector. Over the generations, they've moved that gear transmission halfway up the center to down. Now they've got rid of the shifter altogether, and there's now a rotary knob. On the infotainment system, obviously you still have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as available. Here in the SEL trim, there is a 4.2-inch information display on the front, but jump up to the titanium and you've got this 12.3-inch fully digital and customizable display. So that's a feature you've got to jump up to. Here in the SEL as well, you've got just single climate zone control. If you want dual climate zone, again, you got to jump up to the titanium. That's a little bit surprising. It's not a big thing, but their competitors are obviously offering dual climate zone at lower trim levels instead of going up to the top end. They might want to consider it as well. There's heated front seats and a heated steering wheel at the SEL, but again, no rear heated seats. And I mean, especially here in Canada, that's a very popular feature. And I think that with their competitors offering it, they should consider that as well. It's also no wireless charge port for your smartphones. Obviously, you have your USB connections, but I'm seeing more and more of the wireless, and I think to be really competitive, that's something that is somewhat missing as well in the interior. But overall, it is more sleek. I like it. The SEL has the optional panoramic sunroof, which this tester does have. It's standard on the titanium, but it's sleek, it's efficient, and generally well laid out on the inside. So under the hood of the new 2020 Ford Escape, we actually have up to 4 engine options available. They're actually bringing back the hybrid, which is something they introduced in 2005 in the second generation. They got rid of it for the third. It's now back again for this 2020. And there's even a plug-in hybrid, which is coming as well. Now, both of those I hope to review at a later date, but for now, we have 2 EcoBoost engine options. There is, at the top end titanium trim, there is a 2-liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost, and it's pretty powerful. It puts out 250 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque, although that is when you're using the good stuff, the good gas, the 91 octane. I haven't driven that one, but the colleagues of mine have, and they say it's a rocket. This one, however, that I'm driving is the 1.5-liter 3-cylinder EcoBoost, and that puts out 180 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque, and it is in a 3-cylinder engine. I'm really impressed by it. In fact, there's even some neat features. There is cylinder deactivation available on a 3-cylinder. It happens at cruising where 1 cylinder deactivates. It is a microsecond adjustment. You don't even really notice it, but this engine overall has impressed me. I do find, though, in the cold weather like we have right now, it is quite noisy and vibrating when you start it up. And yes, I know that's common with all engines to be noisier than usual, but it just seemed to stick out with me a little bit more with this 1.5. But overall, I really do like this engine. In terms of fuel economy, this 1.5-liter 3-cylinder EcoBoost has a combined fuel economy rating of 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers, which is 30 US miles per gallon. I haven't quite hit that in my actually almost 2 weeks over the Christmas and New Year's break with it, but then cold weather, a lot more city driving than highway driving has affected that. But I think if I had more highway driving, it would probably be a true figure. As for that 2-liter, the 2-liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost, that has a combined fuel economy rating of 9.1 liters per 100 or 26 US miles per gallon. Both of these EcoBoost engines are matted to 8-speed automatic engines. The hybrid and the plug-in hybrid have CVT transmissions, but again, I hope to review those more in detail at a later date. But overall, my impressions of the drive here is positive, and you'd be surprised what you can get out of the 3 cylinders nowadays, and that's been the case here in the the SEL trim that I've been driving so far. The small SUV category in North America is super competitive. Now, Ford has had a leading position in that category with the Escape over the years, and to maintain that, they really had to offer certainly an improved model with this 4th generation 2020 Escape, and I think they have done that. I really like the new exterior design. It is, to me, the best looking Escape they've ever created, and I think the more sportier, sleeker exterior look of this Escape is going to be popular. While on the inside, I think they really need to offer more features at lower trim levels. I don't think there's anything inside that's going to turn people away. And under the hood, really glad to see the hybrid back, and I hope to review that hybrid soon, as well as potentially the plug-in hybrid. But with the 2 current engine options, the 2 EcoBoost options, I mean, if you don't want to go to the top end and get that 2-liter, this 1.5-liter 3-cylinder EcoBoost is great. It does surprise me, and I think other people that I've talked to, other journalists, they've been surprised by it too. Imagine cylinder deactivation with a 3-cylinder, but you don't notice it. Trust me, this is a really good engine. So overall, I think they've got a winner here, and it's quite likely that the Escape will maintain its leading position here in North America. You should take it out for a test drive. You might like it too. That's it for this review. I'm Eric Novak. Thanks for watching. There's plenty of ways for you to keep connected with me, so check out some of my social media links, suggested videos, and I'd really love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel.